Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Manny Reads Comics. Today's comic is going to be Lucky Devil number 2. This is Dark Horse Comics Publishing. I'm not sure what it's called. It's Dark Horse. And this is by Cullen Bunn. The second issue, it's a great sequel, I guess you could say, to the very first one. Um, I am changing my rating up from 1 to 10 to 1 through 5. I think it's a little bit simpler, and just to kind of give you a range of what that means, it's basically for me personally, 1 means horrible, complete trash, garbage, and I never want to read that book again. 2 means not bad, but it's not good. Like I wouldn't mind reading it again, I guess, but like it's just not gonna be on the top of my list anytime soon. Um, 3, it was good. I have very minimal complaints. Um, but that being said, it's not anything that I'm excited for. It's not something that I am rushing to recommend. It's just, it was good. That's it. Um, number 4, it's great, but it's just missing something. Like it was a good book. I really liked it. I really enjoyed reading it, but it was just missing something. I can't tell you what, because it changes from every book, but that's what 4 means to me. And of course, number 5, it was amazing, top notch. Definitely recommending it to everybody. And for this one, Lucky Devil number 2, it was 4. It was a great book. I thoroughly enjoyed reading it. For me, for this one, it was just missing a little bit more action. I wanted to see more um, of his power. I wanted to see more um, exposition. I guess that's the word I'm looking for, because it is only 4 issues, and it just feels the way that this is progressing. It just feels like there's going to be 10, 12, 20 issues, but it's only going to be 4. So I cannot see how Cullen Bunn is going to finish this up. He's halfway through. So, but yeah, no. Moving on to the story, we have Stanley starting to narrate about how the world um, treats them like trash and uses them and just spits them out, and people like him, right? And he's got this whole like it's like an AA meeting kind of thing. These are his followers, and people that just haven't truly committed to him yet. They're just listening to him, and he's trying to convince them to follow him. And he's just basically saying that, why should you give your all to this world where it does not give you anything? All they do is use you, and they are the higher ups or they're down below. Once they're done with you, you're either subjected to hell, or I mean, if you do some good, what is good basically is what he's asking. But he's looking better. Just speaking about Stanley, he is not the same person that he was at the end of the first one. He's looking better, he's cleaner, he's got good clothes on right here. People are listening to him, and he's very confident. um, and by the end of the first one, I assumed that he would just still be kind of learning his powers, and we would just um, pick up from where we left off. But no, he's in full control. He seems like, again, very confident, and I like that. I like that little time skip, because sometimes it's good to see it, but for this, especially because it's only 4 issues, I like to skip all of that. I don't know what I'm doing kind of phase, and just go straight to, I don't want to say final form, but close enough. Um, in this meeting, you can see on the top panel, there's a girl with glasses. Behind her, there's a guy, big old nose, looking down in a brown jacket. And he gets up and he says, you're a false prophet, and you're not going to convince me. And he pulls out a gun, and he's about to shoot Stanley. And at first, Stanley kind of looks surprised, like, oh my God, about to shoot me. But immediately, he just puts his hand out, kind of like a Darth Vader, and just picks him up like with the force. And he's just holding him suspended in the air, and he's saying, like, I'm not the bad guy here, like I am not using you. I am not a god. I am not a devil. I'm just like you. And but I guess you need a show of power. So he uses this as an opportunity to prove his power, to prove that he can back up what he's saying. And he removes the skin off of this guy, like completely removes it, and then drops him. So just imagine like a cut. If with a cut you put water on that, it stings. This guy just got his whole skin organ removed, and he's just on the floor writhing in pain. He curls up. He's just kind of crying. I mean, I don't blame the guy, but again, he's saying like, I am not the bad guy here. I need you to understand that. I'm one of you, and I'm here to help you, and I'm here to help you guys rise to power. And then he just reattaches all the skin back on the guy and lets him go. Doesn't kill him. Doesn't do anything. He says, "I'm not the Punisher here. You can go. You're free to go. You're not. You don't have to follow me, but you can. I'm always going to be here." And the guy runs away screaming, of course, in fear. Um, then Stanley seems to have found himself a new girlfriend. You can see her at the bottom middle in that panel. Her name is Desi, and she's pretty much saying, like, you've gotten better. You seem more confident. People are following you. You're doing a great job. And she's basically just giving him like a little pep talk after this meeting. And then behind the scenes, you see some guy talking on the phone. Kind of looks like an FBI agent. That's what I assumed at first. But actually, you can kind of see him right there in the very top left. Basically, he just says, I've seen the power. I can confirm it. The Antichrist walks among us. And it's like, come on, man. Just because someone has powers doesn't mean he's an Antichrist, right? But later on, I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. He is part of I'm assuming now, the International Church of Lucifer. So, of course, I feel like that's why he jumps to that conclusion that it's the Antichrist. But I don't know. That's just a big leap, in my opinion. But then immediately, or not immediately, soon after, Stanley starts looking for a house, and he finds one. It looks nice. He says, "This is going to be my church." He's going to build this for his congregation. And the reason that they buy this church is because of its history, or this house is its history. It used to belong to some guy named Dr. Henry Bruning, and he believed that he was possessed by a demon named Mamon. Mamon in Spanish is kind of like an insult. That's why I laughed. But anyways, Mammon. I'm gonna keep saying Mamon just because. Anyways, he this doctor believed that he was being possessed, and the only way to satisfy this demon was to take in the pain and suffering of others. So he tortured and murdered 3 dozen people in this home before he was eventually caught and thrown into jail. And while he was in jail, he was like, it's not a big deal. This demon inside me is going to save me, and I'm going to be out of here in a second. And unfortunately, the demon did not help him, if it ever existed, and he ended up hanging himself in jail. A few weeks later, so Stanley does buy the house, but a few weeks later, he throws this party. I'm assuming it's like a home warming party, a housewarming party. Maybe it could just be his first congregation meeting, whatever. But it's a party. You can see a DJ, and there's just a bunch of sinful acts happening all around the house. There's like this one girl just laid out with plates on her, as if she's a table. It's kind of weird, but yeah, definitely some crazy things happening. And again, Desi is alongside Stanley, just as she is right here. And she's just saying, like, you did this in a few weeks. Look at all these people that you brought together. You're doing amazing. And she reveals, not to him, but she reveals it to us, the reader, that she was possessed as well. And that while she was possessed, she didn't believe she was possessed. She just kind of said, like, maybe I'm making this up so I don't feel guilty about it. But that's just interesting to know that she was possessed, and how did she get rid of it, if she ever did, right? But while they're talking, some guy comes up to them, Argyle Von Gray, and he introduces himself to Stanley. Stanley says, can you excuse us, to Desi? And she didn't like that. But real quick, before we go back to that, I do want to go back to this Mamon guy. I feel like it's just like a throwaway line, but part of me wants to say that this demon might make an appearance in the 3rd or 4th issue. I feel like that was just too specific to be a throwaway line. But anyways, back to Argyle. He is a high priest of the International Church of Lucifer, and he's letting Stanley know that we've noticed you, And at first we were kind of mad because it kind of felt like you were um, trying to get into our territory kind of thing. But the more that Stanley got bigger, the more they realized that he's legit, and they want him to join. They want to merge, but it's more like him joining them and not the other way around. Uh, and Stanley just continues to talk with him when he notices that there's someone catches his attention. And if you look at this, you can kind of see the parallels. Stanley's mask, he's the one on the left, top left with the black suit. Stanley's mask, it's very like scary, confident, very put together. The horns are upright and everything. And then this person that he notices, this guy is like completely opposite of what Stanley is, and he runs away and he just keeps going. And basically, Argyle's like, "Hey, so are you going to join us, or what do you think?" And Stanley just excuses himself, leaves him without an answer, and follows this weird-looking masked guy, and follows him into some room. And that's when we discover that that guy is actually Zed, which is the demon that he got all his powers from. And Zed is still angry. Zed is just like, you screwed me over. And Stanley's like, no, 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 you possessed me. It's not my fault. He's like, well, this is basically going back to the first issue. He's like, you got a crappy exorcist and he didn't do a good job. And Stanley's like, well, I got your power, and that means you're powerless now. So what are you doing here? And basically, he just wants to let him know, like, you got a bunch of followers. That's great. You're doing awesome for yourself. It'd be a shame if people found out who you were before. And he's like, I'm not gonna tell anybody. I would never do that. I enjoy seeing what you're doing, but it would be a shame if that happened. And basically, just kind of, I don't know, blackmail him, but he doesn't ask for anything, so it doesn't make sense why he's doing this. But in the end, he gives him a warning, and he says, there are others coming. I am not the only demon in hell. And that's when we get this nice little page spread of new demons coming out from some graveyard or whatever. And if you recall the cover, you can kind of remember the hand. So these are the demons, and they come out. They're saying it stinks, it's too pure, but there is evil here. But they want to go after the pretender, who is Stanley. Why they want to go after him, I do not know. I don't understand why they would, or I'm not getting it at least. But it's interesting, and that adds a little bit more of mystery to this. But that's what gives it a 4, basically, because nothing actually happens. I mean, it's just still a little bit more of explaining what's going to happen here for the story. But like I was saying, it's only 4 issues, so I feel like it needs to hurry up. But positives is that we moved on Stanley's old life. Zed tries to bring it back, but Stanley's not having it. Zed is still around. I like that. I assumed that he would always be around, but I guess not, because Stanley is surprised to see him. But I feel like he is probably always in the background in some ways, because that's his power. And what else is he going to do, right? And then the final positive for me is that the demons are coming after him. That gives him an antagonist. Like, while he got all this power, nothing could actually stop him now. But now we have some demons going after him. He's going to have to either fight them off or have them join him. Who knows what's going to happen? Cullen Bunn is doing a great job, because I have no idea what's going on, or not what's going on, but I have no idea what's going to happen. Anything could really happen from here on out, but he's not giving it up in any kind of form. Like, usually, when you're watching a show or you're reading a book, it's like, that's obviously this is going to happen from point A to point B, but I'm not seeing point B at the moment. So I'm very excited to read the next 2 issues, and let me know what you thought. If you've been reading this book, let me know what you think in the comments. If you haven't read it, I definitely recommend it. Go pick it up. But other than that, that's the end of this book. Lucky Devil #2, Dark Horse. Go check it out. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. See you later.